Good evening, Americans. It's a bit dark here. Hold on. Good evening, Americans. Good morning to our athletes in Pyeongchang. And if you're Norwegian, I don't know what you're doing here. Probably you should be in bed. I'm up. That's because I'm going to play the chess.com Crazyhouse qualifier. And I did the same thing last night, and it was quite a big success, I would say. We had some really entertaining games. We had a checkmate with 0.1 seconds remaining. So it was a lot of fun. And that's my plan for the day or evening. Ender asks, how did it go yesterday? I ended up on 4.5 points out of 7. So I had 2 losses and a draw. And had I won my final game, the game that ended in a draw, then I might actually have qualified to the final. And making a draw there, I was just very nervous about my time. But I think we analyzed the position a little bit afterwards, and probably I had good chances to win. So I made a mistake taking the draw. It was too loud, says Neo. I don't feel too bad about that, because normally I get a message that I'm too low. But I'll try to adjust to my night voice. Coffee at 1:06 a.m. says Emba, going with a somewhat dubious face. And to that I can only say, no coffee in Hammer's apartment. Never any coffee. It's all tea. And to demonstrate, I will do some tea emojis. Henning is not disappointed by my streaming schedule. Okay, 1 a.m. You feel like there's a market for Norwegian streamers at 1 a.m. I'll keep that in mind. Vertwitch wants me to say something about Mr. Simon Kruger, who broke, he fell down or something and still won the race. I've only read about it because the Olympiad is going on at like 7, 8, 9 a.m. Norwegian time. And that is really not my cup of tea, if you will. Not my, yeah, I haven't been up to watch any of the Olympiad stuff. And even one day I was trying to watch some of the Olympiad stuff, and the password recovery for the Eurosport player didn't work. So yeah, I have actually not watched a single minute of the Olympiad. That is a bit of a record for me. We are doing variants. We are doing Crazyhouse, and in the background you can see that we have a Crazyhouse match going on between Boro and Rusev. But I think I'm gonna play some games. I did some training games before the tournament last time, and I didn't play very well, but still the tournament was a great success. So this time I feel like my training games are gonna step up to a different level, and then maybe in the tournament I'll be able to to do some surprises. So I'm gonna start a 3-minute Crazyhouse search, searching for a game, seeking any opponents willing to take me on. And I'm gonna keep doing the Scandinavian because I really think I saw Fabiano playing it, and I kind of trust Fabiano to know what he's doing in the opening of Crazyhouse. Hey there, we have Helm's Knight in the chat. Wow, I'm slightly starstruck. Helm's Knight is, I have been informed and also done some research, one of the very best Crazyhouse players there is. And I actually mentioned her on the stream yesterday, referring to this opening with a4, rook a3, rook f3, which looks so insane. But she won seemingly effortlessly with that opening. So I guess this is my opportunity to go say, I need help. I have a chance in my white games, but in my black games, I get crushed time after time after time. So having Helm's Knight in the chat, I'm gonna be asking for black help. Black has turned out to be a big problem for me. And we have ChessBay to thank for Helm's Knight making a visit. And that kind of makes me, well, I want the tips now. I'm getting crushed with the black pieces. I need some really sage, I need some good advice. Actually, maybe I'm not doing so poorly here. Of course, except that I blundered d7. But other than that, maybe my position wasn't really that bad. I mean, I don't understand this, because I was playing Crazyhouse before the tournament yesterday, and I was doing so poorly, and now I'm back playing Crazyhouse, and I'm playing so poorly. I'm getting crushed time after time after time. But actually, I might have some counter chances here. I quite like my pawn to a3. And I have something pointing toward the king, right? And now I just made a run for it with my king, getting it to g8. And I can do bishop b4 at some point. It feels like I'm doing okay. And I always, watching kind of good players play Crazyhouse, I'm so interested in how they value their queen. So every time I get the opportunity, I get so tempted to do a queen sacrifice, because I feel like that is how the good Crazyhouse players would do it. Because my king is pretty safe, and I have a lot of pieces. I have a lot of pieces to drop. Helm's Knight wants to dual stream some Crazyhouse games. I'm up for that, definitely. But you do realize that you would crush me probably, right? You don't mind, maybe? It's fun crushing the guy who has no idea what he's doing. Okay, let's drop a lot of pieces and see what happens. Oh, that's not good. I need to stop checkmate, I guess. Okay. Quick. Quick. Let's be very quick. That was not a check. That was a check. I must have had checkmate there somewhere. Yeah, I get it low on time. I get it low on time. It happens. I get it low on time. Let's do another game. I mean, if I hadn't gotten a low on time here, I would have won. And then I would have said it was a brilliant game. Somewhat scrappy from the start, but after a while it was pretty good. Okay, new opening. D5. Maybe I'm getting the opening wrong. Maybe he didn't play D5, maybe he played knight F6. Because in Bughouse, I think this is the way you're supposed to play. But I don't know if the same applies with Crazyhouse. But I think this is supposed to be the best opening in Bughouse. And then basically you just put all your pawns in front of the king and frustrate your opponent. Yeah, because now I even have this move. If I want to. Yeah, I think I want to. Yeah, I'll take it back. Let's give a check. Wow, King F1. Wow, that is different level. Different level stuff. King F1. Wow. I guess the idea is that now he's threatening this one because I have no check on B4. And once again, I'm thinking. I know I'm not supposed to think, but sometimes I just can't help myself. Okay. Let's see. Helm's Knight says, much better at Bughouse than at Crazyhouse. Different opening theory. Different approach in how you play, taking, capturing pieces. Tactics are similar. Yeah, no, I mean, I played a lot of Bughouse in my day. I mean, I have played so much more Bughouse than I have played Crazyhouse. Because Crazyhouse you cannot really play on a board. So, I mean, I went to the chess high school, the Schacklinjen, at the NTG athletes, top athletes school. And we would just, in the summer, we would just go outside in the sun, 20-25 degrees, and we would just sit and play lots of Bughouse. And I mean, we never had any coaching. It's not like we learned the strategy on how to play Bughouse. But I mean, when you play so much, you're bound to pick up something, right? So I have some experience, a lot of experience, but that doesn't necessarily make you a good player. And I've played with Levon, I have played with Maxim, and they take it very seriously. They don't mess about when it comes to Bughouse. If you play poorly and you're partnered with Levon, he will tell you in no uncertain terms. Exchanges, I think I'm gonna do this. I mean, now I drop a pawn on d2 and I win, basically. I just need to get a pawn somehow. Let's start with this move. And then this move. Let's see, can I use the knight for anything? Probably not. Probably not. So I continue my plan of going bishop a6. And the pawns on the king side are just very effective. I don't know if this is a good opening, sacrificing the knight like that on f6. But the thing is, I have gotten completely crushed in so many of my games yesterday. I kind of feel like playing like this could be a good idea just to survive the opening, basically. Because last time I had like 2 games where I lost on move 15. And that hurts. It really hurts. And here, I mean, it's maybe not the best opening in the world, but at least I'm not lost very early on. So that's something. I'm losing on time again. What to do? What to do? What to do? What to do? He took back. Wow. Checkmate. Checkmate. Chesky is playing the qualifier. And he has challenged me for practice. Well, that is what we're here to do. Practice. We are here to practice. And I need to play faster. But just from yesterday's stream, I recall that I started playing a bit faster when the tournament started, when I was kind of taking it a bit more seriously. So I'm not too concerned about losing a couple because of time, as long as I feel like I'm playing pretty okay, I'm gonna be happy. Okay, I am going to take on g5, so I dare you to go play g5. It feels like that knight should be more useful to me, putting it in a attacking position, than it is for him. But I don't understand the pawn structures and stuff. If I take this one and he takes back, have I weakened his king position, or have I opened the f-file for his rook? I think it's a tough call. I'm gonna go knight h5. And if you take, yeah, I was going to say then I'm not sure what's going on. I was kind of hoping he wouldn't take. So I can take back. But then he drops the knight on f6 and we didn't really get any further. So I'm gonna take the queen. This is what happened to me yesterday, right? I sacrificed my queen, the guy took it, and I just ended up losing, not creating any attack for the queen. So we have some newfound respect for Her Majesty. We're giving her a chance. So I'm very careful about pawn dropping on e2. And by very careful, I mean, of course, very afraid of. And that's just what happened. He took on h3, now he's dropping a pawn on e2. And I'm in big, big trouble. Oh man. Should have seen that coming. I don't know. I don't like what's going on. Okay, that move I wasn't too afraid of. That move, that was not why I was spending all my time. I was seriously afraid of pawn to e2. But now I got a lot of pieces. I mean, I got so many pieces. And they're pointing toward his king. I mean, I'm even threatening just taking on this one, no? This is checkmate. Checkmate. Oh no, it was an unrated game? Don't come challenging me unrated games. That is not cool. That is not cool. Okay, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna make this my black opening. I'm gonna try this one out. Surely I cannot lose all my games in 15 moves playing this. And this guy also just falls straight into this one. I think maybe this sacrifice is not very good, but I think in practical play, it freaks your opponent out. And that's a very good thing. I mean, the guys are just completely messing up. Check, takes, take this one. That's very greedy. But pawns are pretty valuable. Pawns can be pretty good. So he's going to do something like a knight here and take here. That move I don't understand. I'll try to take another pawn. Just develop my pieces. There's some psychology in this. There's some psychology, kind of, as long as I'm threatening his stuff, he wants to defend. gonna drop some stuff, I think. I do remember being told yesterday not to drop all your stuff. But it's just so tempting. So tempting. Just getting all the white pawns and then putting all the pawns in front of my king. I like my king feeling safe. That is one of my main. I could actually take this one. It looks pretty decent. Ooh, maybe a queen sacrifice back on g7. I'm not gonna do that. That looks dangerous. Very dangerous. I'm gonna use my strategy of putting all the pawns in front of my king. Knight f6 sacrifice is absolutely correct. Okay, so I was watching Fabiano play some Crazyhouse, and I thought he played d5, but probably he was playing knight f6 and then d5. And it's a pretty good opening, according to Jisoo. But I'm playing slowly again. So slowly. That was not a very good move by him. I'm having a lot of fun with these pawns. I'm having so much fun. Look at those guys. I mean, just look at them. I'm having so much fun. And now I'm just going to checkmate you, my friend. I'm sorry. But that is what's gonna happen today. Booyah! Ten pawns on the board. Yeah, I mean, 10 boards on the king's side. 10 pawns on the king's side, no? Every single pawn. Just put them in front of the king. Hammer looking dapper this evening. I mean, don't make me find my dictionary. Use words that I can understand. Dapper. Dashing. Even dashing I understand, but dapper is just not in my vocabulary. Yeah, I understood what it means. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. Dashing. It's better, and it's something I actually know. I'm gonna go e5, because then I also get this pawn I really want to put on h6. And in addition to that, I have some stuff going on in this diagonal. Let's protect. Let's capture, and then we do the pawn on h6. He's gonna take, I'm gonna take, he's gonna drop a pawn on g7. No, interesting. Very interesting. Just going back with the bishop, because I have nothing to put on g7. So he's just ignoring me. Let's get the pieces out, and then he puts a pawn on g7. But that's a, I mean, then you're just giving me a free tempo, no? I might actually even give a check. Takes back, check. Takes. Nah. Let's do this again. And you go back. And what am I gonna do? probably gonna take this one. I don't want to take, I'm just gonna go here. When I take this one, I get afraid of the queen pointing toward my king. So probably I should exercise some patience. Yeah, no, this is not gonna work out for you, my friend. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to do. Maybe you're trying to get a threefold repetition, but that's not how the game works. This is not good news for you. I could even pre-move this, I think. Yeah, actually I'm a bit concerned about bishop g4. Okay, that I'm not concerned about. Magnus Carlson. Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to say. But he is getting slayed, as being commented on by Ori in the chat. Actually, this is checkmate. This is kind of cute. That's very cute. And I really like finishing in style. That is very cute. Booyah! That I'm actually very happy about that one. Queen takes f6. You like sacrificing your queen for mate, don't you? Says Chess Guy. Yes! Yes, I do. I really do like that. Okay, we're gonna do a game against Farhan Ahmed. A regular viewer, but also someone I lost against in the training games yesterday. So I have something to avenge in this game. I have something to avenge. Am I concerned about him getting central pawns? I'm actually not. I'm not concerned about that. Maybe I should be, but I'm not. Actually, if I now go here, then maybe rook b1 is very annoying. So maybe I shouldn't take on c3. But that's a lesson for next time. Ender says, you're very fast on seeing the tactics. Yeah, well, the tactics is kind of the chess part of the game, right? So it's the part where probably I feel the most comfortable. Is there theory on Crazyhouse? Yes, definitely. It's just that I don't know any. And I think that's one of the reasons I don't stand a chance against the best players. Is that I have no idea what I'm doing, and I will very often fall for some opening trick. If I were to survive the opening, I like to think that I would stand a chance. Okay, I'm gonna start dropping stuff. I'm gonna start putting my pieces out there. Let's go with the knight first. Actually, maybe he shouldn't even defend. Okay, but he is gonna defend. And then I drop more stuff. More attacking positions for my pieces. And then he goes knight g5. I thought about that, but I also thought it's probably not very good. I may be wrong. But that was my initial thinking. So what's going on? He can go knight takes f7. And then I can go takes here, then he can go takes here. Very complicated. Very complicated. Maybe it's just dead lost for me. I don't know. Okay, he took with the other knight. And that I think is actually a big mistake. Although big would maybe be pushing it. But to me, it kind of feels like I should be able to do something. Maybe I should just save my queen. To be honest, it's not really anything I think of at first, but some cases you should just make sure that your opponent doesn't take your queen. And this might be one of those cases. Nah, but I'm very scared about this move. But then I can sacrifice my queen. So maybe by doing it this way, I sacrifice my queen in a better way. Nah. Yeah, I think he can probably take my rook and then drop on e8. And it feels like that's going to be checkmate. But that really feels like a mistake. Feels like a big mistake. But should I take the rook or should I take the bishop? That's a very difficult choice. And I'm getting low on time again. Okay, I'll take the rook and then see what happens. Should be checkmate somehow. I'm not sure how, but somehow. Bishop g2, that's nice. So king f1, bishop g2 would have been checkmate as well. Are you allowed to drop your pawns on the 8th rank? No. So not allowed to drop pawns on the bottom rank, protecting my other pawns. Nor can I, of course, drop pawns on the 1st rank. But I think that's the only restriction on dropping stuff. So other than that, you can drop anything you want. F4, a blunder. Yes, I agree. I think taking the rook may have been enough to win for white. The Crazyhouse tournament is starting in 16 minutes. 16 minutes, and I have had a pretty good rehearsal. I think I've been playing pretty well. But the thing is, I did really well at the Crazyhouse tournament last time, yesterday, and then I was playing horrendously in the warm-up. So maybe this is not a good sign. Who knows? Sometimes they say that a bad pre-show or bad rehearsal makes for a good premiere or something like that. I think that's something they say. So this opening again. I'm gonna try bishop f5 and bishop d6. Because that's what everybody was doing against me yesterday. And I remember in this position I was slightly concerned about this option. So I'm gonna try that for myself. And then let's put something in the middle. And then this one next. ChessBay seems to think that it's the middle of the night and I may not be performing my best. And you know what? I think you could be onto something. I think you could be onto something. And frankly, I feel more tired today than yesterday. But at the same time, I feel more energized. I don't know how that can kind of come about, but that's just how I feel. I regret making that decision, but okay. Four light squared bishops. Yeah, that is pretty extreme. Here I'm gonna go knight b4 just to avoid him capturing my knight. And then my thinking was that it's annoying for him not to have pieces to drop. But on the other hand, he could have gone queen b3, attacking the knight without me having a really good reply to that. Okay, I'm gonna do the trades. I'm gonna do the trades, and then I'm gonna hope to be first attacking. I'm gonna go here. Somebody yesterday against me did f takes, and that was actually not so silly. It turned out to be reasonably effective. So I'm gonna try the same today. I'm gonna try to do the same, and now I'm gonna do drop stuff. High Shovel asks, is chess your full-time commitment, or do you have a job on the side? No, I do chess full-time, 24/7. And I mean, not everybody can do that. I mean, chess is basically my hobby, and I can do it for a living. In Norway, which is also kind of a big deal. So yeah, good times. I don't want to give him a bishop to defend. But at the same time, I want to be the one attacking. So I'm gonna do this. And he takes with the king. Wow, I had not considered that. Maybe it's just very clever. And I'm not playing quickly enough. I'm not playing quickly enough. Again. Okay, let's drop some stuff and see what happens. I'm gonna do this. I think that's a pretty funky move. And he responds with more funkiness than I could possibly imagine. Wow, that was pretty sick. I'm actually gonna lose this one on time. He really freaked me out with that interesting try to keep his his knight alive. Yeah, and now I dropped e7. That's not good. I'm so slow. So slow. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to take this one. No, but it can't be wrong. I just not take on g2. Because every time you sacrifice a piece in Crazyhouse, you actually sacrifice 2 pieces, right? Because you sacrifice the 1 piece you had, and then you sacrifice that your opponent gets an extra piece on their hand. So maybe I should stop sacrificing my pieces for nothing. Or at the very least, when I do sacrifice, I have a follow-up. This was... I could have just gone back with the bishop. I have so many things. And then just started putting things to help my king. I'm so much material up. I could just stack everything, defending my king, and essentially wait him out. I mean, I'm not attacking, so I did bishop takes g2 just to attack. But maybe I should just, you know, I'm so much material up, just start defending. And he's gonna be frustrated trying to get through, and there's no way through. And then I can start, you know, attacking. Here's a proper question from Kevin. What are your top 3 favorite kinds of tea? Now, I really would like to be a connoisseur, but unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with all the names and stuff. I like the Assam. Well, basically, I only like black teas. I think if something is not black tea, you shouldn't call it tea. I mean, then it's essentially just flavored water, right? So black tea is the only proper tea out there. If somebody comes to you with green tea, that's flavored water, essentially. So none of that stuff for me. Herbal tea likes Chess Bay. Yeah, no, you're not on my tea list. Herbal tea, that is flavored water. That is what you like. You know, there's no shame in it. Actually, this is tricky because the tournament is starting in 7 minutes and I just did a 6-minute game. So I'm gonna actually play fast for a change. And part of the reason I'm gonna play fast is just that I'm afraid I won't be able to join the tournament if I do not play very quickly. So there is some motivation for you. That is how you get me playing quickly. Do some proper punishment. And I forgot to play h3. All the other games I have played h3 in this situation. But on the other hand, what is so bad about him getting the bishop? I don't know. We're gonna play a4. This is very popular in the Italian at the moment. Wesley So being the front man for this a4 thing. Okay, so that's the point. He goes g5. But I had the option of playing g4. So if g5 is a good move, then I should have played g4 when I had a chance. Okay, let's go with the pawn. What is going on? I don't know. I'm gonna move my king out of the way so that when he goes knight h5, I can go knight h2. No concerns about this diagonal threats potentially. And then knight g4. And how is he going to defend this pawn? I don't know. I don't know. It seems difficult to me. And now he blundered something. No. I thought I had a bishop. I thought I had a bishop. But I do not. But now I'm going to play b5. And if you want to keep your pawn, you gotta move your king. This is, I like this. Things are looking very, very good. And I'm playing quickly as well. Things are going great. How to decide it. I want to give a check somehow. Knight f6. Okay, maybe not the greatest move, but I wanted to be able to follow up with this check. Now he has to take. And then maybe this check. And it's checkmate. Very good. So probably it was pretty decent. Doing great, Mr. Hammer, says Farhan Ahmed. Doing great. Okay, Chessbay is going on about playing more than one game at the time. I think I actually fixed that myself. So maybe I didn't have the problem of not joining the tournament. I'm actually pretty highly rated. And for once, I'm trusting my Crazyhouse rating because now compared to the last time, I actually played quite a few games. So I'm ranked number 8. Number 8 with a 2169 rating. And I'm among the top seeds. It's 3 more minutes till the tournament's starting. And I have a good chance of qualifying, I think. Something that must be said. Unfortunately, I'm away for the big Crazyhouse final. So basically, I'm just streaming to play some Crazyhouse and refresh my well, I say refresh my knowledge, but that essentially presumes that I had any to begin with, and I'm not really sure that I did. Anyhow, I'm here to play the qualifier just to pretend like I could have played the finals and I don't know, made something happen. Lose a fantastic game against somebody who's actually very good at Crazyhouse. But it's fun. Crazyhouse is fun. And yesterday's stream, I had a checkmate with 0.1 seconds left on the clock. So if nothing else, I think it has high potential of creating a lot of interesting, funny positions and situations. Crazy Horse. Can somebody explain Crazy Horse? Eilertson asks. This is Crazyhouse, but I understand your confusion. And in Crazyhouse, you can drop the pieces of your opponent that you capture. So for instance, in this position, I have previously captured a pawn from black, and then I can drop the pawn when I want in the game. So I drop the pawn, my opponent, yeah, and I don't know, in analysis mode, the pieces get a bit weird. But essentially, like here, I have 2 knights on my hand, and I drop one of the knights on h5, creating a massive attack against the black king. So Crazyhouse is essentially just you have the ability to drop pieces you capture from your opponent. And as such, it's actually very similar to shogi. The Japanese chess, shogi, there you can do this all the time. I mean, shogi is played by dropping pieces. It's the name of the game. And I don't think my opening was very good. I'm hating my opening. But I didn't take it very seriously because I thought, well, I'm playing a 1500. But if there's anything I've learned from my training sessions, it's that these 1500s are tricky guys. And you can never expect to win a game easily. I'm gonna take with the D pawn. I understand that maybe he can go c4 and exchange queens. But at the moment, I think my king is reasonably safe. So exchanging queens is not a disaster. Now I'm threatening knight to c7. And he's not really threatening anything. And now I should have checkmate. Let's do check. Should have checkmate. Let's see, maybe check. Okay, I'm gonna go here, because then he has to take this bishop. And then I can take his queen. Sometimes you just gotta do it the easy way. And he had to take that one, because otherwise I would be able to go drop the queen on e8 and give checkmate. So he didn't take my bishop, which was protected, and then I dropped my queen on e8. Fanner says that he really enjoys these funny variants. Yeah, no, I think chess variants are pretty good fun. My favorite one is 3 checks. 3 checks is my go-to variant. And then I suppose Crazyhouse is second. Or Bughouse maybe, and then Crazyhouse. But then I'm also saying that I'm not counting Fisher Random as a variant, because it's basically normal chess, right? And we got that proven today with Magnus winning the match between him and Hikaru. I mean, Magnus was dominating. He scored like, I can't remember the score. It was something like 15-9, I think. But in reality, the score was flattering for Hikaru. Because Magnus had so many good positions he wasted. What's the difference between Bughouse and Crazyhouse? That's a good question. So in Crazyhouse, you take your opponent's pieces and then you can place them out. But in Bughouse, when you take your opponent's pieces, you don't get to use them. You have to give it to a second player who is playing a second game. And they get to use the pieces you capture of your opponent. And the reason this is so popular is that Bughouse is very easy to play with a board. So Crazyhouse not as popular because you cannot play Crazyhouse easily at a normal board. But Bughouse, you just put 2 boards next to each other, one guy with white, one guy with black. And the guy with white captures black's pieces and hands them over to his partner. And that is why Bughouse is so fun, but also so easy to play over the board. Okay, 14-10. Magnus won 14-10, not 15-9. But it was still a very flattering score for Hikaru. And I think what was most shocking in the match was both players seriously struggled with the white pieces. And that is just, to me, that is just so strange. So strange. What does that have to do with bugs? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you should confuse the naming of the variants with features actually in them. So bug house, no bugs. Well, that is not always true. When we were playing bug house at our at the chess school, then we would very often sit outdoors in the summer, and there were some bugs there, but normally no bugs in bug house. And we got a new game, and it's a black game, and we know how difficult those have been. I'm gonna do my knight f6. Wow. I cannot tell whether he blundered or whether he sacrificed. I assume it's just a massive blunder, but who knows? I'm gonna go back, because he doesn't really have any pieces. So I'm just going to restrict his options of getting new pieces. And I'm going to drop. Not that one, but this one. I'm going to drop. I have such central control. I'm just going to drop. Now I want to challenge this knight. I want to play this, but I'm slightly concerned about stuff here. I'm going to go bishop e6. Really chicken move. But it protects f7 and develops the bishop so that I can go knight d7 next. I'll take back with the bishop. Man, I was supposed to be dominating the center, and I let him put a pawn on d4. That was very unnecessary. But now the only way I'm gonna mess up this game is by playing too slowly. I think the only way I'm gonna lose this is losing on time. So I'm just gonna speed up. I'm gonna speed up and see what happens. Okay, he took, that was not very good. I mean, this guy is pre-moving like crazy. I mean, what is up with this guy? Are you kidding me? I played rook g8. Did you really expect me not to take with a pawn? That is crazy. Crazy, crazy house stuff going on right now. Crazy. Okay, so what's gonna happen? Am I gonna drop a knight on f4? No, I don't think so. I'm gonna drop a bishop. I'm dropping a bishop. Then I'm dropping a knight. It's so close to checkmate. So close to checkmate, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Oh man. I don't see it. Well, now I see it. But he made a mistake. He could have gone to king f4. King f4 would have forced me to put a pawn on g5. And then when he gets to h5, I don't have any pieces to drop. But now he has to choose between these two moves. And regardless where he goes, I will have the pawn to give checkmate. Well, actually, this is also checkmate. It's nicer to have kind of the knights doing the work. Bra sent och streamer schack, säger Daffy. Very late for a chess stream, Daffy says. Yeah, no, but somebody's got to do it. We can't leave the 2 a.m. slot just for the American guys. Job Adems asks, what other variant would work well on a line but not over the board? That's a good question. I think that's a very good question. Variants that work better on the line than over the board. It's a very good question. I really think that chess.com or any server for that matter, they should get some kind of hand and brain action going on. They should have functionality for one player having to name a piece or click on a piece, and then the other player has to move that piece. And for the moment, hand and brain is popular over the board, but it kind of leads to situations with cheating, because sometimes the hand will kind of say, well, it was obvious that I should do this move. And also it's like sometimes you would, yeah, but actually it wouldn't work on a line, because then we would have people cheating. I mean, people could be talking on Skype telling what the move should be. Any suggestions in the chat? Horde. That's actually a good point from Chess Bay. Horde is difficult to do over the board simply because there's so many pawns. The normal chess set doesn't have 5 times 8, 40 pawns. 40 pawns is difficult to acquire. So Horde would be a tricky game to do. High Shovel says, you speak very understandable Norwegian for someone living in Bergen. Well, I don't know. My Norwegian is probably affected by having been born in Bergen. So there might be some logical explanation for all of that. Okay, this move I have never seen before. I mean, he's begging me to play this. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna acquiesce to his request. And that is a Pirates reference. Okay, and then I guess I'm just gonna develop. Develop the pieces. Why not? Let's drop some stuff to win the bishop. I'm not sure I'm gonna take the bishop, but I'm gonna put my pawns to be ready to take them if I get an inkling to decide that I want a bishop. So I'm just gonna leave the bishop there and then castle. And he's very free to go do this thing with the knight. But on the next move, I'm playing bishop g5. And then you will lose your knight as well as your bishop. And now you're going crazy, my friend. I'm just gonna keep taking your pieces. I'm just gonna keep taking your pieces. If you offer me your pieces, I will take them. Queen sacrifice. Queen sacrifice. Let's take this one and then give it check. Probably not gonna work. I'm afraid. It's not gonna work. But it's so tempting. Takes. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. But then maybe knight d6 was actually a mistake. Knight d6 was a big mistake. I should have just taken on g7. Knight d6 was a massive mistake. I dropped a knight, which would have been very useful to have on my hand. That was poor. Rash decision. Rash decision. Queen sack was fine, says Electric Masada. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. If you say so. I couldn't see the follow-up. Let's just take this one. I don't think he has any threats. Actually he does. Man. Mistake. Big mistake. Big mistake. Big mistake. 3 big mistakes in a row. Man. And now I'm getting a low on time as well. That is so silly. So silly. I let him back into this game and I was completely in control. Completely in control. And then... Man. I should have taken with the other bishop. That was also a mistake. I should have taken with the other bishop. Man. Should have taken with the other bishop. Such a silly mistake. If I had taken with the other bishop, I would have had rook g1 check. What happened with my... I had a pre-move ready, no? Oh, come on. That was so poor. If I just take with this bishop, I cover all of these threats on the g file. I cover all of the threats on the g file. Yeah. Okay, new game. No time to start throwing your shoes. No time throwing your shoes. No more posting evaluations in the chat. That will be you will regret it. We can't have people cheating. I don't know what happened in this opening. This became just weird. Daffy is having his first Crazyhouse experience. That is a lot of fun. The first time you discover Crazyhouse. I missed a mate in 10. Yeah, no, I would seriously believe that. I had so many good chances in that game. So many good chances. But now I think I'm winning with black. I think our practice run doing the black openings has been extremely successful. And I'm liking my position. Oh, sorry. I'm liking my positions with black. And that was not the case yesterday. Yesterday I was getting crushed. Crushed with the black pieces. But now I am the one attacking. So thank you to, I don't know, myself, I suppose, for discovering good black openings. But what am I going to do now? I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to be overly aggressive. I'm just going to sit and enjoy my good position. Not do anything crazy. Just put the rook on the open file. That is a good move. Good move by Hammer. And now the big question, where to put the knight. I'm just gonna go back. No going crazy sacrificing stuff for no good reason. Just go back and see what the future brings. And then maybe develop some pieces. Yes, I like it. I like it. He has no pieces on hand. And he's not really getting... Oh, I was hoping for that one. Booyah! Hammer time! Checkmate! Strike back. Strike back after the tough loss. I had a winning position in the previous game. I did manage to spoil it. But now I have a black win in some style. And you see, it paid off not doing crazy sacrifices. Just sit and wait when you have the material advantage, when you have a good position. Don't rush it. I'm not even feeling that tired. I'm not sure it's a good sign, but I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good, and the tournament is not as strong as it was the last time. So I think my 3 points out of 4, it's a decent score. It's a decent score. It's not the best score, but it's decent. For some reason, when I go to check the standings is not, it's not sorted in rank order, and that seriously confuses me. But it says that I'm in a shared 10th place. Shared 10th place. It's not fantastic. I need to win a couple more games, and I think next one I will probably get white. So I managed to lose a white game, which is not very good. But on the other hand, now I won a black game. So maybe it evens itself out. Zula says, it's a good lesson. I always exchange when I'm up material. Yes, but then whenever you exchange, you give your opponent attacking pieces. So maybe in Crazyhouse you shouldn't do exchanges when you're happy, because then you know your king position is going to be okay. Actually, thinking about it, in this position he could have just taken on g7 and dropped on f6. So when I say I won this game in a good fashion, that might actually be completely untrue. Knight takes g7 would have been very strong here. I was just so concentrated on thinking about h6. Knight takes g7 followed by h6. And that I was not afraid of. W. Verman says, when will you make your fantasy team? Actually, I was thinking about doing it after the Crazyhouse. I was also thinking about not doing it. But since you ask, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my Pro Chess League fantasy team. I guess I'll do the setup on the fly. So how have we been playing this? Bishop g5 followed by h3. Should I drop h3? No. I'm reasonably happy with this move. I had no idea that e4 e5 was such a Crazyhouse fad. And then knight d4. I don't really understand this knight d4 move. I don't understand how anything good can come from exchanging a pair of knights. But on the other hand, I did lose to this opening just not very long ago. So maybe there's that. Okay, I'm gonna avoid exchanging, and now he placed his knight on g6 while I still have my knight in reserve. So I'm gonna hope that gives me some kind of edge later in the game. He's thinking about taking here and then going bishop e2. Maybe this move is a bit annoying. Maybe it's very annoying actually. Because he's also threatening bishop takes h3. And it's very difficult for me to attack anything. It's very difficult to attack. I'm gonna take this one. So he gets a bishop. He has a lot of bishops, but those bishops can't really bother my queen at the moment. So I'm willing to give him a couple of bishops, and then we'll see what I can do with the pieces I have. I want to go d4. Maybe actually I should have avoided that exchange. Yeah, I should have. I should have moved my bishop or something. This is not good. This is not good. It's a cruel, cruel game. I'm gonna take this one. I spilled my tea. Oh, are you kidding me? So it's like shogi. Yes, yes, it's basically exactly like shogi. And that was such a poor game. Such a poor game. I'm miserable playing such a poor game. Oh man. And there I just got crushed. I got crushed with the white pieces. Man. Such bad news. Such bad news. This looks very much like a normal game of chess. And in a normal game of chess, I would be reasonably happy with my position as black. So, therefore, I'm reasonably happy with my position in Crazyhouse. I'm actually going to drop the piece on g6. I know that I'm kind of not supposed to, but it felt very safe. I think JLH might be my favorite streamer right now, says the Fosk. Thank you. I appreciate it. But he cannot quite put his finger as to what the appeal is. I get that a lot. I mean, mystery why anyone would ever want to listen to me going on about stuff. Oh God. Oh, what to do? My problem right now is that she's just gonna play knight e1. No, she's not, because she's not silly. Why would she play knight e1? Actually, maybe I'm okay. Dropping this one was probably a big mistake. Because she keeps dropping things on the kind of wrong side of the board. I'm gonna give up this pawn. It's risky, but on the other hand, I get to play e2, which is nice. I just gotta play faster. If I just played a bit faster, I wouldn't get crushed so many times. I don't think there's a lot of stuff you can do with the rook. I mean, I'm gonna give you the rook, and then what are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna manage to do so much more with the knight than she's ever gonna be able to do with the rook. That's my hypothesis. And now I'm just winning her queen. I mean, I'm trapping her queen on d1. And I think that just illustrates that getting my rook was not really such a good deal for her. She should have wanted more. I'm very tempted to go queen takes f2. But then if I spend time calculating it, that's probably not gonna, it's gonna be bad news, right? But now I spent so much time talking about it, I kind of have to do it. Kind of have to do it. And she didn't take it. She got scared, and she shouldn't have. I don't think anything bad would have happened. I don't think anything bad would have happened. But now I know something bad is going to happen. And that's the difference. Sometimes you just gotta, there's a good option and there's a bad option. Sometimes you just gotta go for it, the bad option. Actually, she has king f1. That is good fighting. Good fighting. That is very good fighting, actually. And I'm so slow. I'm so slow. And I don't see a checkmate. I actually did manage to waste this. I don't see a checkmate. Are you kidding me? Rage tilt coming. No! It wasn't checkmate anyhow. Okay. I thought I dropped queen e3 checkmate, but it wasn't checkmate. Okay. This is actually kind of weird. The server says that I lost on time, but the server also says that I did manage to get in my queen e3 move. Yeah. What to do? Queen takes f2. I spent a lot of time calculating it, and I'm not even sure it works. And then she just moved her king. And now I could have taken on e1. I could have taken on e1, and I seriously considered it. Oh, what to do? What to do? And now I'm playing against David. David Sverv. I don't know how to pronounce that. But he says in the chat that he's also streaming. Probably he has not been killing the ears of his listeners as much as I have. I lost 3 in a row, right? 3 in a row. I'm not very happy with myself right now. Y'all weren't ready for that Norwegian passion, says Stompy. That is true. You were not ready for it. Visas was not ready for that. And thank you to the Fosk for subscribing. Yeah, I don't really know what to do. H6? What's going on? What kind of move is this? I really want to go g4, but it feels like it's not how you should play Crazyhouse. But at the same time, I so wanted to do it. And in Norway, we say if you want to do it, you're allowed to do it. And he fell for that one. He fell for that one. A4. Tricky move. Tricky move. I'm such a tricky guy. Now I get a knight. I'm gonna drop a knight. Actually, I'm gonna get a pawn to go here. But first, I'm gonna develop my pieces. I'm gonna get him to drop his bishop. And I want him to drop his bishop on b7, and then I'm just gonna go back. And then this bishop on b7 is not gonna be very good. And by not very good, I mean completely horrible. Completely horrible. And then, am I going to play this? No. I'm just going to keep developing my pieces, get them out there. Get them out there. And then I'll do this. He's going to play c5. which is kind of annoying because I don't want him to get a pawn that he can put on e4. But I may not have a choice. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let him get that pawn, and then I'm gonna get a pawn to drop. I'm just gonna let him get that one. And then he didn't take. He didn't take, and that was probably a mistake, I would think. Because now I'm gonna drop pawns over here, and he's gonna be in trouble. So he can drop on D3, but then I'm gonna be attacking over here, so I don't really care about whether or not he wins a bishop. But on the other hand, I would very much like to drop a bishop here. No, I'm just gonna take this one. Then I drop this. Probably he needs to go king f8. And then I do this. No, he goes there, but now I get this check. And then this check, right? Where's my pawn? I thought I had another pawn to drop. Bad news, very, very bad news. Very bad news. I thought I had another pawn to drop. But of course I needed to take that pawn first. Very, very bad news. But now I have the pawn. Now I have the pawn to drop. And then it's good news. Back to good news. It's still tricky. More tricky than it should be, based on how the opening, I think. So now he has 3 rooks. Right, I don't think any of those rooks are really helping him out much. That's 1 rook. That's 2 rooks. That's 3 rooks. I take back everything I said. Those rooks are very helpful to him. I'm getting schooled. I'm getting schooled big time. And I think that was the final round as well. That was the final round. I lost 3 games in a row. And this here, I just got crushed. I was much better, and then I somehow just got crushed. How did this happen? I am shocked. I was 2 pieces up. 2 clean pieces up. Wow. Number 42 with 3 points out of 7. Man. I don't think those 3 rooks are very good. My quotes are haunting me in the chat. Yeah, those rooks turned out to be okay, right? They did some damage. They did some serious damage. Serious damage. Goosebold. Okay, challenge me and I'll accept a game of Crazyhouse. I need a revenge. I need to crush somebody at Crazyhouse. But if you're a good player, please do not challenge me. Then I might tilt even further. Ah, Job is on the job in the chat. Guy named Job doing the job, coming with a very astute observation. International master from Japan wins the tournament. Crazyhouse is shogi confirmed. Yes, that is true. Crazyhouse and shogi, that's the dealio. Shogi, you get to drop the pieces you take from your opponent. Shogi, also known as Japanese chess. And yes, Japanese guys being good at Crazyhouse, not that big of a surprise. I know a bit about shogi because Peter Heine Nielsen, one of the Carlsen coaches, he's really into shogi. Very much into shogi. So I have watched him being obsessed about shogi up close, and it's a fascinating sight, really. And I mean, he's basically treating it as if it's chess. I mean, he's sitting there doing opening analysis in shogi, watching the top level shogi matches, and then comparing it to existing theory and trying to figure out what was new and was it interesting and was it effective and so on and so forth. And it's well, it's hilarious, really. But yeah, and shogi is played with these little pieces that are with Japanese signage. So it's really tricky to play because you actually have to understand, well, learn the differences between the Japanese signs. Hammer Rage with the disclaimer, turn down headphones. Yeah, I'm sorry. I would never do Twitch with headphones. But maybe I'm not modern enough. I'm not computer savvy enough to understand that that's how Twitch should be enjoyed. Headphones? Yeah. No, I apologize. I can only imagine how that must feel. Having some guy suddenly start screaming in your ear. I'm gonna sacrifice the queen. I really want to open the D file, and I think this is gonna be good somehow. Those are actually very famous last words. And I just gave up a piece and my queen for absolutely nothing. This was a terrible idea. I mean, terrible idea. And now he's threatening knight to h6 with the smothered mate. This was such a terrible idea. Wow, this was... Wow. And I don't even have a knight. This was absolutely dreadful. That doesn't stop. Chess Bay, maybe because you live alone, you never wear headphones. And then Heiser Jack says that is brutal. Probably referring to the fact that so casually. Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Actually, just now I realized that I have Rook B1. And for the life of me, I cannot understand why I didn't see that previously. Because now I get everything I wanted. I mean, this was supposed to be my idea. I guess. Suddenly I'm just taking all the pieces. I mean, he has to drop a queen. He has to drop a queen. That is very sad actually. That is very depressing. Has to drop a queen, and wow. The position went from okay to a complete disaster. Well, it was just forced checkmate. Okay, so my instincts were right. Knight takes e5 was interesting. And here, dropping a rook on b1 would have won instantly. And somehow I was only thinking about dropping a pawn on c2 and then a rook on b1. So I needed to change the move order, and then it just worked brilliantly. Yeah, I have terrible sound insulation. I'm basically waking up to the biggest nightmare because my downstairs neighbor is doing some renovations, and it actually feels like somebody's standing with the drill next to me and working it into a wall. So yeah, it's essentially torture. I mean, it's sleep deprivement. So yeah, that's what I have to look forward to tomorrow morning. Yeah, I think I'm done with Crazyhouse. I think I was feeling optimistic before the tournament, and all my optimism has gone down the drain. I have realized that Crazyhouse is tricky, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. And I lost 4 games, and in all 4 games I was slow. I was not exploiting the chances I was given. Everything went wrong. Sleep deprivation. His neighbors play house music and techno out loud. Yes, they do. They have a very good bass in my downstairs apartment neighbors. But probably if I'm yelling, I'm disrupting my the guys next to me more than I'm yelling downstairs. I'm gonna do my fantasy team. Gothposen. Maybe this is a thing. People renovating their apartments. Gothposen says it's a Norwegian thing. And for as long as I have lived here, there has always been one apartment that is doing some work. Hopefully in the future, that one apartment is going to be mine. Yeah. Let's do fantasy. How am I going to do that? How am I doing? I'm going to do open tabs here, and then I'm going to move it over there. Yeah, I think that's how I'm going to do it. I'll do the new frame and then move it. Yeah, but it's tricky because then I don't get the pairings. I really need to figure out some good way of doing the fantasy teams. Play fantasy chess. So we're gonna do the first. I'm gonna share the form in the chat so that you can submit your fantasy team as well. Fantasy is tricky this week, says Guisbold. That is interesting. Fantasy chess is tricky this week. Okay, so I'm gonna move the fantasy to this one, and then I'm gonna see how it looks. It actually doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't look fantastic. So I'm gonna do the new screen grab, and then we're gonna do the something like this. We're gonna do this and then this. Actually, maybe we should do this and then remove this one. Or is that the wrong one? Yeah, remove that one. And then let me open something here. Pairings. And then do a screen grab of this one. And that's gonna be okay, I think. That's gonna look decent. Let's just do a pretty big screen grab. Like this. So then we'll have this one down here and the fantasy contest up here. That looks pretty good. But when I scroll down, how does that look? Yeah, it works. Okay, yell out if the setup is unsatisfactory in any way. And we're gonna do this. We're gonna do the chess fantasy contest. Pick all the top scorers and the tiebreak question to win $10,000. Now, I have not done very well in this competition the last couple of times. So I'm gonna say that if you copy my team, we're definitely not gonna win the 10 grand. Because then if we do get everything correct, then there's gonna be trouble. So let's just get at it. So the first division is the Eastern Division. And so we need to check out the pairings. Check out the pairings. And you cannot see this. Can you see this? Yes. So the pairings are Kovalenko is playing against Hari Krishna, Gupta. That's pretty good. They're a pretty good team. We have Andreikin playing against both Vidit and Vishy. That's tricky, but interesting on the third board because the Mumbai movers have two 2200s. So probably Andreikin is not. Well, he could be an interesting pick because Vishy was doing very poorly. Vishy was doing very poorly last time, or pretty poorly. We have the Estonia horses, and Elvest is killing everybody. Elvest is killing everybody, so probably we will go Elvest on board 3. And then we have the Norway Gnomes. And as the team captain of the Gnomes, I am not allowed to pick one of the Armenian players. I'm not allowed to pick the Armenian players. We have Nils, and he's playing 4 tough games against Armenians. Wow. I get what you're saying about it not being any easy picks. This is not gonna go easy, no. Bukovsky is a new player for the Estonians. But that could turn out any fashion. Haug has been doing very well. Haug has been doing well, so he's an interesting 4th board pick. Haug. Yes. So I have decided on the 3rd board. I have decided on the 4th board. But what about 1st and 2nd? Kovalenko, Naikans, Gupta. Maybe Gupta is interesting. I think Kovalenko, is very strong. This is a young Swiss guy. This Delhi team is strong. This Delhi team is very strong. Very strong. And Hari is, he's a beast. And a very nice guy. But on the chessboard, he's a beast. Who won the qualifier? Asks Helms Knight. It was some IM from Japan. And they have shogi. So he is at an unfair advantage, some would say. Andreikin is also interesting. Probably I have to go Vidit for second board. Vidit is going to be such a beast. A 2700 guy on second board. So I'm going to go with Vidit on second board. And then I'm left with first board. Kovalenko, no. Hare Krishna, maybe. Andreikin, maybe. Anand, no. Maybe there's a gem hiding in this Estonia, also a Trolls match. Burakovsky, maybe, but it being his first time, I'm not too comfortable doing him. And then we have Nils. And I think Nils is going to be very good. I do think Nils is going to be quite good. But putting him up in 3 difficult matches, in addition, their fourth board has been doing very well. I mean, Nils is capable of winning all his games, but he could also easily get 2 points. Because these are really strong Armenian guys. So what were my other options? Andreikin. But he's playing Vidit. That's going to be tough. So if I go with Andreikin, I'm basically hoping Andreikin makes 4 out of 4 and Vidit makes 3 out of 4. And then we have Hari. You know what? I'm going to go with Hari. He's very strong. So Hari on board 1, on board 2 we have Vidit, on board 3 Elvest is killing everybody, and then we have Haug, pretty good on board 4. Also interesting for board 4 is this Armenian guy. He has a 2400 performance, but being the captain of the Gnomes, I'm not allowed to pick players on our opposing teams. Farhan has picked Hare Krishna, he says. Yes, I agree. Hare Krishna. That is my pick. Okay, let's move to the next division. It is the Central Division. Let me check that you can see what I see. Yes. Okay, so we have the, wow, it's the Migraines against the Snowballs. That is the big matchup. Big matchup. And we have MVL playing against both Bader and Georg. That is tough. That's, the Stockholm team is so strong. And they even reinforced with a very young German international master. Wow, so strong. The Stockholm team, they made it to the Final Four last year, where we won a very exciting match against them to qualify for the finals. And this year, they could go all the way. They have such a strong, consistent team. But I'm not going to pick Bader against MVL. And I'm not picking MVL against both Georg and Bader. So I think for board 1, I'm avoiding this match. Maybe board 3. But even that, I don't know. Even that, I don't know. Probably I'll just stay away from this match. It kind of has 8-8 written over it. And with no special player doing extremely well. I'm going to stay away from that match. This is the Turtles against the Mosquitoes. The Mosquitoes was a big surprise last week. They had been having a poor Pro Chess League, and then they ended up winning 14-2. 14-2 against the London Towers. And basically the London Towers is such a bad team. I mean, they have lost all their matches and they lost 14-2. Actually, I'm gonna skip the Turtles. I'm actually not gonna skip the Turtle. I'm gonna say that Luka Lenic for board 1 is a very interesting pick. But then I'm gonna go down to the London Towers. Yeah, because they have been so poor. Or is it the Lions that have been so poor? The Lions doesn't look very strong. 24-30 against 24-40. You know what? I mean, I could see Gawain just completely crushing this lineup. I'm gonna go with Gawain. So who are my options? Oh god, I should check the can. The Icelanders are pretty strong compared to what they usually have. Well, they have Yervar, which is always good. I'm going with Jones. I think he could crush in the London Derby. I'm going with Jones. And then for board number 2. Stefansson. Gnina. It's a tough choice. Let's go further up. Borisek. Borisek is strong. Mayer could also be interesting. Mayer or Borisek. I'm gonna go with the Slovenian guy. I'm also gonna check the chat. Chess Bay picked Mayer and MVL. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work for me. I think best case scenario, Mayer scores 3.5. And that's best case. And I think there's other guys on board 2 who could do better. Yeah, but yeah, Mayer is an okay pick. MVL, maybe. But then you're depending on MVL playing really well. Gawain was poor in the last round. Yeah, no, I like Gawain. Now, Mayer would always be interesting against anything other than that lineup. Mussard? No, I'm not taking Mussard. Or are you now on third board? Sorry. Let's say Mussard. Yeah, that's third board. Yeah, I was saying he's interesting. But it's such a strong Stockholm lineup. Preferably, I would like a third board that is not having such a ridiculous opposition. I think for third board, I'm definitely going with Randall. I think Randall is reasonably tricky, and I think he can do okay. Yeah, but it's not fantastic, is it? Let's go. Randall. I think Randall has been outperforming himself. I'm actually going to have to open a new browser to check the performances of the players. We don't want to leave anything to chance here. So I'm opening another one. Pro Chess League. Let's go to the London Alliance. No, I want to go to the London Towers. So Randall has... Oh, Randall has actually done really poorly. Wow. Okay, Randall has a 23-17 rating performance. Okay. I guess that settles it. I'm not going for him. How about the Mosquitoes? I have no idea who these guys are. The Mosquitoes' third board has a 23-40 performance. Yeah, that's not really tempting me into going for you. The massive performer for the Mosquitoes has been Spoolman, but he's not playing this round. Yeah, third board is tricky. Who is this guy on the Khan team? Armenian guy, Hahutiun Barsegyan. Normally, I often pick people against the Puffins because I think if you're a strong player playing against a very evenly matched team such as the Puffins, I think you should have good chances to get a big score. But the thing is that the Puffins keep doing very, very well. The Puffins do very, very well. So it's so tricky. So tricky. Who did I go with for second board? Borisek. Yeah. David Klein. Luke has been doing okay. Musad should be able to beat Inna. He should be able to beat Inna. But then there's this kid, and then he's the underdog in 2 games. So I mean, even 2 points is is a good one for Musad. And then I think 2 points is not good enough for the third board in fantasy. And then I have someone like Pavlovic, who is higher rated in 3 games, who should be then a better pick. Yeah, what to do? I'm gonna check how Pavlovic is doing. And if he's doing pretty well, I think I'm gonna go for him. Let's see. Pavlovic. Oh, come on. 5 points out of 12 for a rating performance of 23.90. Yeah. You're out, my friend. You are out. Yeah, who's left? I mean, at this point, there's not too many players left. Third board players. Arslan Uchiev. I don't know. Pavlovic. Ducarman. Kamer. Musard. Okay, I'm gonna have to check Musard. I mean, if he's doing well, then we just have to hope he manages to cope with the guys. Okay, so Musard has a rating performance of 26-12, so it's slightly above his own rating. Slightly above his own rating. This is tricky. Very tricky. I need some suggestions in the chat. Third board. Biragi. Maybe, but Biragi is not the good Thorfinson. There's 2 brothers, Thorfinson. And the Thorfinson that has been doing very well, it's the other one. It's not Biragi. It's the other one. Very tricky. Normally I would say it didn't used to be this tricky. I would say that How about this Khan guy? I mean, I started out basically saying that I will often go with the guy playing against the Puffins, because I have this feeling that you should be able to score well against a reasonably evenly matched team. So this guy has 50% score, about his own rating, from Bergsegyan Harutin. But he doesn't have a title. He has a 2400 rating, but he doesn't have a FIDE title. That's strange. That makes me curious. So he's a French player with an Armenian name. He has a rating of 2460. He's 19 years old. 19 years old, and it seems like he gained his rating fair and square. So there's no like K60 making sure that he's suddenly spiked. He gained his rating fair and square. He was no prodigy, but he made good progress and is now at 26 for 70. I'm gonna have to go check Bragi as well. At this point, I might as well just check every team and see how the third boards are doing. Wow! Þröstur Þórhallsson has a rating performance of 2689. That is insane. That's a reasonably old guy outperforming his rating by 250 points. That is sick. Bragi actually did okay. Yeah, I'm still on the European divisions, Chess Bay. I'm struggling with the third board. Central Division third board is very, very tricky. Atlantic third board was the toughest for me, says Chesky. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it because this one is so tricky. I'm checking Bragi now. I'll check Dirk Common, the Dutch guy. But I mean, the Dutch guy is 2.5 out of 8. I mean, there's no way I'm going for that guy. Which makes me think Pavasovic is a good. I'm gonna go with Pavasovic. I mean, I could sit here all night, but I'm gonna go with Pavasovic. I have some faith in the Slovenians, and even though the Mosquitoes won in an amazing fashion, 14-2, it's so insane. I think you should be able. And having watched the score for Þröstur Þórhallsson, I guess I just have to go with him. I'm really insecure how a 60-year-old grandmaster is crushing it in the Pro Chess League, but with a rating performance of 2650 for a guy rated 2400, I gotta go with him. There's no choice. Okay, so then we're at the Atlantic Division. Atlantic Division. And we have the St. Louis Archbishops against the Chess Bras. Ooh, strong teams, both fielding strong teams. But Archbishops definitely for choice, I would think. Miami Champions against the Krakens. This is interesting. These are the two bottom place teams in this division. Krakens have lost every single match, and the Champions have not really done very well either. And the Champions are close to being relegated and can still only field a team with a 24-24 average. wow, both these teams playing a crucial matchup between the bottom placed guys in the division, and both teams are fielding reasonably weak lineups. That is interesting. Probably there are some good picks in this match. I'll actually have to go check how these guys are doing, if there's any standout performers in either of the teams. So we have the Krakens. The Krakens, Maximiliano Perez made 3.5 out of 4. So he's probably a good pick. Maximiliano Perez. Let's go back. Is Perez playing? Yes! Perez is playing on the 3rd board. So the Atlantic 3rd board. You said this was a problem. You said the Atlantic 3rd board was tricky. I mean, tricky, not at all. I solved it before I even started looking at anything else. I saw it before I even solved anything else. I am looking at the fantasy chess teams for the Pro Chess League, and I'm not messing about. I'm taking my time looking at all the options, making sure that I maximize my chances to get a to win the 10K prize. I guess a wonder is just killing everybody. So I wonder on the 2nd board, probably. A Kobieng, Vanus, Tang. I think Avonder is going to be a decent pick. And then we have 1st board, Le Quang. Le Quang against the Blizzards. Oh, Le Quang is just going to kill. Le Quang is going to kill the Bishop and the Blizzards. I mean, the Blizzards have been doing extremely well, credit to them. But Le Quang is a beast. And when he is 200 points higher rated in every single game, I cannot help but to think that he's gonna do some damage. Let's look at some of the other boards just to be on the safe side. Who are the other 1st board players? Barbosa. Actually, maybe I forgot to check the other team. I checked the Krakens. I should also see if the champions have any standout performers. Ichirisaga is the only guy on the Miami team who has been doing well. And now they're playing without Ichirisaga, and so they are in big trouble. Big trouble for the champions. And then finally Fedoseev. Can Fedoseev do damage to the chess bras? Probably. Probably he can. But is the probability higher than Le Quang doing damage? No. So that is my first 3 boards. Now it's the 4th board. Fourth board coming up. Who are we liking? We have Sean Nagel, who did really well previously. Mika Britton, I have never heard of. But the thing is that some of these Americans I never heard of turns out to be some prodigy kids. And Greg Shahady, which is, he's basically the reason why we're doing this. Anna, Rudolph, and our main priority is really just being ahead of Greg. And Greg has done really well week after week. And he knows all of these American kids. And he knows the good picks in the American divisions. And that makes it kind of tricky. For the Krakens, we have, I mean, every Kraken player has done so terribly, but now they're playing the champions. And they have a pretty decently rated last board player. What are my other options? I should check who is Britain, and I should check who is Bartel. But yeah, I'm interested in this Krakens guy. Krakens guy. I mean, playing for the bottom team in the league, probably he hasn't been doing very well. But then the question is, can he change? Can he get back to winning ways? Okay, he has scored 4 points out of 16. 4 points out of 16. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Let's go to the Sopranos. Sopranos, who is Bartel? Bartel, I don't know who he is, but he has outperformed his own rating by 200 points. Playing 4 games, he has outperformed himself by 200 points. That's very interesting. So Bartel looking like an option. And then we have Britain. Mika Bratton. And he has performed his own rating. But also he has only played 4 games. So I'm leaning toward the Montclair guy, just judging by past performance. But am I concerned that I'm choosing a second board and a fourth board from the same matchup? Probably not. Probably not. I could go Sean Nagel. Let's do a repeat of Sean Nagel's performance. He's outperforming his own rating by over 100. So that's very good. Who are they playing? They're playing the Windmills. Let's check the Windmills. Ashwin, Banush, Nemkova. I mean, I could see Nagel scoring 2 points here. Can I see Bartel scoring more than 2 points? Probably not. 2 points is going to be pretty close to maximum for Bartel. And Nagel has been doing okay. I have no idea who this Nagel is, but he's been doing okay. This is why Hammer doesn't win fantasy. Because I pick everybody who has outperformed. Yeah, I don't know, but you're supposed to, I mean, performance should relate somehow to future performance as well, right? Ah, he's about to pick me, says Spinal Tap. Okay, then Spinal Tap, identify yourself. Identify yourself. If you think picking you is an idea that will make me not do very well at fantasy, then maybe I'll try to avoid that. 2 points on board 4 is a good performance. Yeah, 2 points on board 4 is decent. But 2.5 points is even better. Okay, so Spinal Tap is Bartel. Bartel. Yes, we were seriously considering you, Mr. Bartel. But if you're gonna advise us not to, then I guess we're going with Sean Nagel. And for the Pacific Division, my general idea in the Pacific is just go with the Pandas. Go with the Pandas. Can you see what I'm seeing? Yeah. That is my general idea. Do pandas. But actually they are playing a very tough opponent today. The hackers, having both Mamedyarov and Danya. Both Mamedyarov and Danya. I might actually stay away from this match. Maybe Danya for board 2. But other than that, I'm gonna stay away from this. I'm assuming the thing about this last guy is that Li Chao has a tendency of finding some massively underrated Chinese guys. So I'm tempted to pick the completely unknown person on board 3, on board 4. But this person then has to score points against Isoria, Naroditsky, and Mamedyarov. And that's gonna be a tough sell. That's gonna be a tough sell. I'm staying away from this match. Let's look at the Kangaroos. Holt. I had Holt in my team once earlier, and that worked out okay. Sarana is a young Russian grandmaster who has done very well so far. Very well. And then there's lots of guys I have never heard of. Morris and Kuibakarov. What's going on? The Desert Rats against Dreyev. Dreyev is an interesting pick for board 1. The Desert Rats, I don't think they have been doing very well. And what about the Seattle? Bortnik on board 1 for the Ospreys. The Ospreys are doing very poorly, but this is not a good team from Seattle. This might actually be tricky because the teams are surprisingly weak. I'm gonna check how the players are doing with the Kangaroos, because I think I might get a lot of Australians on my team this week. I think I'm gonna get quite a few of those. Let's see. Sarana outperforming his rating by 100. Smirnov slightly better than his rating. Kuibakarov is outperforming his rating by 200 points. 200 points. Wow. The 4th board on the Kangaroo team, outperforming massively. So then we have a decision there. Kuibakarov from the Kangaroos. Then where to go next? I think maybe look at the chat. Temur is a young talent. Chess Bay picked the Panda board 4. Yeah, I have a lot of faith in the Chinese. A lot of faith in the Chinese. But that was too much for me. Paklesa for board 2, says Farhan. Okay, let's check Paklesa. I'm getting pretty tired. I want to wrap this up soon. Let's see, Paklesa. Which team is he on? He's on the Desert Rats. Desert Rats. Paklesa. Outperforming his rating by 100. Yeah, that's interesting. Outperforming by 100. It's interesting. Li Chao is not playing, but Li Chao has not played a single match. Right? He is the captain of the Chinese team. Nisuwatch says that Mamedyarov will kill the Chinese. Actually, that might be true. it might be true, but the Chinese guys are so tough. So Mamedyarov could be interesting pick, but he could also give away a couple of points. Feingold is not on a team. Feingold is doing commentary for the Pacific Division together with Preuss, David Preuss. And actually, or Preuss, maybe you say. And Preuss, I think, I've been watching too much, I would say, of the Pacific Division. I really should be in bed by that time. But Preuss has been, I think he has been the best commentator. I really think he's on point. His lines are very interesting, and he's really funny. I think Preuss is the best caster, and he's alongside Ben Feingold doing commentary on the Pacific Division. I don't know. Maybe Pakalesa, but the Desert Rats doesn't really. It's not the. Preuss and Hess are the best, says Chess Bay. Yeah, I really think Preuss is the best one. Okay, I'm getting tired. Who are we going to pick? Bortnik. He could do okay. Belarus. He could do okay. The Seattle team is not looking massively strong. Dreyev I could be interested in. Dreyev doing damage to the Desert Rats, I could definitely see that happening. So I'm gonna check Dreyev and I'm gonna check the Ospreys. But then I'm still gonna have the third board left, but let's see. Dreyev, where are you? The Ospreys. Ospreys. Bortnik playing for the first time. Belarus has been doing okay previously. Yes, I'll probably go with Belarus and maybe with Bortnik. I just gotta check in with Dreyev of the Surfers. Dreyev of the Surfers, are you gonna be one of my picks? Dreyev is outperforming his rating slightly, very slightly. And Keaton Kuvra scored 3.5 out of 4 in his first. That's interesting. And he's now on the third board. He's now on the third board for the Surfers. And he scored 3.5 last time round. So I'm going to check the Desert Rats. If they are not massively outperforming their rating, I might go with a couple of Surfers. Desert Rats. They have Pakalesa, who has done above his rating. But other than that, the Desert Rats have not done well. And Stoppa, my pick last week, did not impress in any way. I'm gonna go with some Desert Rats. No, I'm gonna go against the Desert Rats. Dreyev, interesting. Keaton, interesting. Also interesting, Belarus. Bortnik, also interesting. So it's very close between Bortnik and Dreyev. But I think I'm going to go with Keaton for board 3. Yes, Keaton for board 3. Belarus for board 2. And then it's between Dreyev and Bortnik. Desert Rats, I don't think they're very good. Seattle Sluggers. I'll have to see how the Sluggers are performing. Sluggers, how are you doing? Sluggers. Mark Velashi is doing way over his rating. Orlo is doing well below his rating. And Hay is getting crushed on the final 8th board. So I mean the question is basically, should I double up against the Sluggers with Belus and Bortnik, or should I double up against the Desert Rats with Keaton and Dreyev? And that is the final decision basically of the day. He also has poor observational skills, says Chess Bay. I don't know, you talking about me? I take life very seriously, definitely. These are the most calculated picks of all time, says Hayes John. Yeah, but you gotta take it seriously. OBS was the software. Okay, now I understand what you were talking about. Kangaroos. Seriously, you're gonna drop a third option. You want me to go with Sarana against Sadora and Holt. It could be interesting actually. Sarana I think is outperforming his rating by, but now you're just confusing me, putting another name into the mix. But then I'm also, basically you're saying that I should double up on something. I already, on my team, I picked some guy on the Ospreys, some guy on the Surfers, and some guy on the Kangaroos. And basically these are the three teams I'm considering for the first board. So Savrana has outperformed his rating by over 100 on board 1. Yeah. Well, it's good, but it's not good enough, I think. Are you playing chess tonight? Asked Bohovnica. I have played chess. I played Crazyhouse. And please don't remind me, it did not work out very well for me. I'm gonna just have to take a pick. I'm gonna have to make a decision. Make a decision for my fantasy team. Sarana or Bortnik or Dreyev. Who do I believe in the most? And who are these guys playing against? So I think I'm gonna say that Margveshvili on the Seattle team is decent, and he's been performing decently. And I'm gonna say that the Desert Rats are not fantastic, but on the other hand, Pakalesa had done pretty well. Dreyev, old guy, but very solid, very good. Bortnik, young guy, wanting to win all his games. Okay, I'm gonna go with Bortnik. I'm gonna support the young guns on the team. Tiebreaker. Who will score the most points? I have No idea. No idea at all. I've picked 2 guys from the Ospreys. And then I got a couple of turtles. So let's check who are the turtles playing against. Turtles against mosquitoes. Are they gonna score the most points? Or should we look toward the Pacific? Who is this? Vasquez and the Huis. Let's check out the last couple of guys of the Ospreys. The Ospreys are in the relegation zone, I think. They really need to come back. They really need a big comeback to stay in the Pro Chess League. And who did they have? They had Ruiz, who has been doing okay. They had Vasquez, who has been doing okay. Nothing spectacular, but okay for both those guys. And they are playing against Hare and Orlov. Anthony Hare has 1 point out of 8, or maybe he had half a point out of 8. And Orlov had performed more than 200 below his own rating. So if my 2 top guys are successful, and these guys pick up a couple of points, I'm gonna go with the Ospreys as the surprising big winner. Ospreys as the surprising big winner. Where are you? Rio Grande. I am not a robot. And that was it. I don't need to press anything. This is my team for the Pro Chess League Fantasy. Submit. It has been recorded. Thank you everybody for helping me pick my team. Thank you everybody for giving me some hints on Crazyhouse. It didn't really work out today. Reminder, the next stream is going to be the Pro Chess League. It's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Oslo time. 5 p.m. Oslo time, that's 11 a.m. Eastern. 11 a.m. Eastern, there's going to be the Eastern Division of the Pro Chess League. I'm playing myself this week in an attempt not to be fired. I know the Twitch chat have been eagerly talking about the captain getting the sack for some bad performances over the last couple of weeks. The Norway Gnomes have lost every single match in which Carlsen has not played. So we really need to turn that around. It's a very evenly matched league, and we're currently in among the 4 guys going to the knockout stages, but we're also so close to the relegation zone that if we lose tomorrow, we might go from the knockout stage 4th place to the relegation 7th place. So it's a big matchup tomorrow for the Gnomes. I'm gonna do some Gnomes emotes in the chat. And thank you everybody for following, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.